Hey guys, so they said to stream it, so here we are. Mark is about to make a big announcement, and my guess is it's Surge 2.0, or he finished developing the fixes to eliminate the drops from BNB and the possibly use cases for uh, Surge and that 2% transaction fee. So let's see. He said 15 minutes, about 15 minutes ago. Surge organizers wording what they want to state to us. So, yeah, let's see. It's up here somewhere. What's that? All right, so here we are. He said, big announcement, 10 to 15 minutes. Then I'm literally trying to buy more. And he's like, wait a second. Why would he say that? Crazy stuff. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be Surge 2.0. So we'll see. We will see. Oh no, I won't miss it. Really? The bottom. There we go. Where are we at? We're going to miss it. All right. So it's happening. We're just waiting. Right? Yeah. Mm. He said hello, everyone, especially my mom. Um, making it NFT. He said TikTok, motherfucker. Oh shit, here we go. Everyone, the next component of Surge ecosystem has launched. This is not a competition to Surge, but a critical component to how everything will work. You can now hedge your risk against cryptocurrency with Surge USD. Surge USD contract has been created, and we wanted to give everyone an opportunity to buy. Ultimate use case established. We are creating a way to pair liquidity across all Surge tokens, Surge BNB, yeah, benefiting both Surge tokens, positive price action. When the ecosystem is live, if the price of BNB goes up or down compared to the price of USD, there will be an opportunity to make profit from buying, selling Pancake Swap for Surge BNB while boosting the price of Surge. I'm going to hedge every cryptocurrency against Surge tokens so everyone can benefit from the volatility of crypto. Now it's BNB and USD, but soon as the price region outpaces another, we'll be able to have every Surge token benefit from this volatility. This is the future of staking. This is the future of back liquidity. This is the future of hedge risk. Now, if you're worried about the price of BNB in the long run, you can migrate to USD as long as your holdings see fit and comfortable. You can gain rewards to increase USD, but the price. What this does is opens the door for cases. What do you guys read? This. Holy shit, listen to this. We are currently creating a decentralized on-chain bridge system to allow anyone in any currency to decide to pair themselves into a liquidity pool with Surge BNB and Surge USD, allowing for every currency to benefit from the rising price of both assets, and in the same way increase their price at the same time. This is the start of something beautiful, and we're excited to be a part of it. Oh my gosh. So they did it. There's fucking Surge 2.0. It's not quite what I thought it was going to be, but yeah, it's a secondary coin based on the US dollar. So yeah, I'm actually going to do exactly this. I was actually thinking that. I was like, all right, well, let's see what the benefits are. I'll put half my bag in there and half the bag. This is going to be pinned below. Contracted date. Oh, there we go. I'll copy that. Boom. I guess I gotta go buy this. Uh, Okay. So this just happened. Okay, let's jump over here. Got it. Hope this recording records what they're saying because I got my headphones on. Should do the output. No, that's the wrong one. Hmm. That's not how it's going to output, though. It's going to go to my speakers. The cake is alive. Damn it. This is no good.
Surge token would be exploding in price, technically, based on all of the opportunities that'll exist through arbitrage and through liquidity pools. By combining this internal liquidity pool mechanic in Surge and pairing it against another Surge token, there's some really interesting arbitrage opportunities that will happen. And this is how the transaction volume of this coin will happen. This is the use case. Yeah. Surge USD. I'm sorry, Carc. I'll let you talk 1 second. Surge USD is going to be, in my opinion, the backbone to many, 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 if not all, new DeFi projects in the future.
Well, that's the hope.
I said my hope. I said my belief.
Okay.
I'm very bullish on this, and I think this is something that is very incredible, especially with this ecosystem. Okay, take it away, Carl.
Yeah. So one of the things I really like about Surge USD is that it's now we can, I guess, officially say that the price on this always will go up, because usually when we say price, we're thinking in terms of USD. And for regular Surge, it was always about the price in BNB. Your BNB will go up, assuming that there's going to be future buys and sells or transactions. And so that's always the risk is that in this type of instrument, this financial instrument, is that you need additional buys and sells and volume, obviously, for the price to ratchet up. And this is what we're really excited about, is that it actually creates a use case for additional volume moving forward. So that's one of the concerns we had, is like, okay, well, what happens if, if volume starts decreasing and the ecosystem starts to dry up and things like that? People are just going to have their tokens just chilling, waiting for it to go up, waiting to withdraw, right? Their initial investment. And by constantly having volume in our ecosystem, what that does is that creates more transaction taxes, which reduces the total supply. Lower total supply, same amount of BNB or BUSD now in the pool, means that the price goes up. And so that's what we're really trying to do here, is to demonstrate that it's no longer just people buy and sell Surge, right? It's now people buy, sell, and trade Surge and use it in their projects, which is, I think, more of the long-term vision on where we're going with this. This isn't just, let's launch another token because it sounds fun. This is more, I think, of a strategy that we're implementing. We have a long-term goal and vision. This is a critical component of it. And how these two different tokens are going to interact, I think, will be very interesting for you guys to watch here in the next coming weeks.
The main thing that I'm excited about as well is because I figured this out recently. I don't know why this wasn't as apparent to me originally, but sell pressure does more to the price than buy pressure, just mathematically, not talking in any other way. The lower the total supply is relatively to where it started, the faster it can increase in price, in a way. So if we are incentivizing trading, we're constantly lowering that total supply. If we have more and more and more and more and more buys, and only buys, the graph is logarithmic. Otherwise, if we can incentivize this trading, it becomes linear. It has a linear slope, if the right amount of trading happens, of course. And in this scenario, where we're setting ourselves up is where we can trade Surge for another Surge, and not increase the BNB, and just be chopping down on that total supply, which will just be raising the price for everyone else increasingly fast as it happens.
It's so weird to say, like, hey, we actually want people to sell our token because it increases the price. It's such a bizarre position to be in. But I mean, we aren't super worried about launching a token like this, because it's like, if people decide to sell out of Surge to move into Surge USD, great, right? We want both ecosystems to be thriving, and if people sell out a chunk of Surge and to move into this project, that's just more positive price action for Surge holders. So
for both tokens.
Yeah, for both tokens, it's a pretty cool win-win situation. And so, why not? Why not create the critical piece of a component of our architecture? You get this humming, and then we want to show you guys how we're going to wire this up in a way that we're really excited about, because we want to use Surge ultimately at the end of the day as a critical component or piece that will be used as a derivative for future financial infrastructure in the crypto space.
Absolutely. Should we give a small hint on X Surge, or are we saving that?
Yeah, I think we should hint it. Yeah, I think we can talk about it.
So, the way that this is going, as you all see, there are these decentralized tokens that no one can own and no one can put into liquidity pools, such as Surge BNB and now Surge USDT. This
USD.
Yeah, Surge USD. Sorry, it's not USDT. It's actually BUSD that it's pegged to. Um, so the problem with this is there's a 2% tax. So when someone tries to stake their coins with Surge, they're going to have 2% slippage. And not only that, but if you're trying to use Surge as a financial instrument, it would be tough to have this 2% tax forever. So what we've done is what we coined as on-chain bridges, which will allow you to bridge your Surge, whichever Surge you have, USD or BNB, into an identical copy, kind of like bridges on Safemoon, where you get Safemoon on the other side. The only difference is these peg tokens won't have BNB or BUSD inside of them. They'll technically just be like a promise to receive real Surge tokens in the future. And as such, these Surge tokens won't have a tax. We call this X-Surge, tax-exempt Surge. But it will cost a tax, a transfer tax, to actually acquire these Surge, and then another transfer tax to actually switch back into regular Surge to then extract the underlying BNB. So what this will let us do is become the liquidity pool backend for anything, for Safemoon, for Useless, for Surge USD, for anything, and have our positive price action drive up every coin in DeFi. And when people want to cash out on that, they will have to cross that 2% fee to actually exchange their Surge back in a way that benefits the entire system. And I won't go too long into the arbitrage about it, but just think about a scenario where the price of a token internally is always going up, and the price on the liquidity pool that it's in, say it goes down from people moving. How interesting would it be if you could buy the cheaper version and sell it back to the contract for more expensive and make profit off of it? And this is going to be the driving infrastructure behind why people use their Surge, why they don't just buy and hold, why they send it around. It's going to be profit incentive, profit based on volatility in crypto. What used to be the biggest downside of crypto, like the crazy volatility, not necessarily downside, but the biggest scaring factor, is actually what's going to give us the most solid and promising returns. It's really fascinating, and I can't wait to have a lot more information on the math and specifically about the arbitrage itself and give some good examples that you guys will be able to latch onto. Do you have anything else before we should ask questions, Kirk?
Yeah. I too want to kind of expand on that. One thing I really wanted Surge to be useful for was in liquidity pools for other tokens. And so for X-Surge, our tax-exempt Surge derivative that we're building with our on-chain bridges, which is a first in DeFi, Mark, right? I've never heard of one before. So, yeah. So by creating an on-chain bridge from Surge to X-Surge or from Surge USD to X-Surge USD, these derivative tokens, these bridge tokens, as a tax-free variant, you could have X-Surge, for example, paired in your liquidity pool for a new token. And what that would do is the price action of your X-Surge or your XSUSD should follow along with the price action of the underlying asset, which is Surge or SUSD, which means that these tokens can benefit from Surge's price action, which is a really exciting possibility. And so that is the goal of our use case, is again Surge being used as a derivative for a lot of financial instruments out there. And I don't think that we're the ones necessarily building all that utility out. I think we're building the fundamental blocks and pieces that other people are going to be using.
Absolutely. The coolest thing about it is the fact that if a token pairs with Xsurge, it will rise in value along with Xsurge because of how the underlying asset, Xsurge, raises in value due to its underlying asset, Surge. So it's really interesting, and at the same time, as these tokens go up in value that we're pegged to, it will further increase our value as sell pressure incentivizes on these tokens, and people actually cash out their X Surge for normal Surge, and then pull out that underlying liquidity underneath. It's really interesting, and I really can't wait to keep going on it. But should we start bringing people up, Carc?
Yeah. So
Alright. Yeah. Raise your
so
hand if you have questions. Sorry. Yep. Person. One person so far. Yeah, if you have any questions at all or any comments, please, we want to know them. We want to make sure you guys understand fully what our intentions are with this and where we're going with it. So, yep. How you doing, Matt?
What's up, John? I just got a quick question. Are you planning on pairing this up with SFM in the future?
Versions of these coins, the bridge on-chain bridge versions, like exempt Surge USD, will absolutely be pegged with everything. We're gonna try to make a pool for Safemoon, but ideally, what we originally thought of was a way to utilize certain functions inside protocols like Safemoon and other tokenomics tokens to where we can actually lock liquidity in a way and provide liquidity in Surge for liquidity that's already generated due to like swap and liquefy, for example. So
Right.
I would say yes, that is the goal, but not just SafeMoon, but for every DeFi token.
Can
Did I answer
potentially help with the burn?
Yeah, no, it would help with. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily make a difference, but it would add a rising price action to SafeMoon to where people could then arbitrage the SafeMoon Surge pool and then the BNB SafeMoon pool. Or sorry, the SafeMoon Surge pool and the BNB SafeMoon pool. Yeah. So it'll add a different variant to where price will be tracked independently, and in a way to where it goes up more than not, just from the nature of the underlying asset going up in value.
and it,
Thanks, guys.
And I
Yeah.
kind of want to add to that too. One thing that I think is really exciting is for any SafeMoon type derivative tokens. How it actually works is liquidity gets injected through swap and liquefy. You get LP tokens. In return, it goes back to the owner wallet if your contract's not renounced. And so I was thinking through this the other night with Mark, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if people took their LP tokens or unlocked LP tokens on these the various DeFi, SafeMoon S type projects, they could cash out their liquidity and then use that to swap into liquidity for Surge as the underlying asset, or more specifically Xsurge. And so that's something I think would be super, super cool, is to give a path for people to exchange their tokens, LP tokens, from liquidity injection. And they could send that. We can basically create a contract or a process to where other tokens can slowly transition their liquidity pool over to Surge.
Through swap and liquefy, yeah. And we could even have services on top of that to lock liquidity and just everything like that. Like the sky's the limit when it comes to that. That's something we're really excited for as well. DB or Blue, did you guys have anything to add, or are you just coming up here to
Yeah, I just had a quick question because we can't actually get in line, so I just jumped up. So we send BUSD to the contract address.
Nope.
No, do not do that.
I heard. Okay, I thought I heard BUSD, so I wanted to make sure it's still just Binance Smart Chain then.
Yes. Yeah, so the BUSD aspect is not what you said. Do not send BUSD to the contract. Oh no. That's bad.
Hey, Mark?
One second, Pyro.
So so what's actually happening is when you send BNB to the contract, and what it does is it goes out and it purchases BUSD. And so instead of having BNB pulled against tokens, it's BUSD pulled against tokens.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
It's happening right now. It's up to 25,000. Check the stage chat.
Holy shit.
Well, that's what's supposed to happen. Is it's BUSD in the contract. So if you send BUSD directly to the contract, it will just add to the pool. So don't do that. But when people send BNB, it will create a pool of BUSD in the contract. That's what you're seeing there.
I put in big capitals, please don't send BUSD. Oh no. Yeah, I try to stress that. It's definitely smart chain. The reason for that is just how contracts work. It needs to accept the native token to trigger a response. So if you send BUSD to it, it won't know that you sent anything to it. You need to send the native token or smart chain for it to realize that a transaction to it has been made. And that's just because of the nature of Solidity. So please, please don't send any BEP20 tokens ever to a contract address, usually. Expecting it to have an automated response, such as Surge, where it mints tokens back. You really, really, really need to to do it with to use BNB, smart chain BNB. I'm gonna post that again, just in all cap.
Y'all check out the event chat.
Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna post this again in all caps. General and
No, it's okay that there's BUSD growing in the contract eyes. That means that it's working. So BNB is getting sent in, and then it's pulling BUSD in the contract. We want that. So that's not an example of people sending $27,000 to the contract. That's an example of people sending BNB in, and then it's swapping it into BUSD as the underlying pooled value against your tokens.
Okay, awesome. Good job, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely want to make sure we. This case will be a late night, making sure everybody's not screwing it up.
Sorry for throwing this on you.
No, it's cool. Grabbing some coffee.
Yeah, that's the risk of working with Mark and me, I guess, is that we're gonna just throw stuff together and put it out there. That's just how we are. So
Surge was launched at 5 a.m. Surge was launched at 5 a.m., so it's only fitting this one's launched at 2 a.m. At least in my time.
Evolution.
Yeah, we're gonna take some learning, definitely. Oh, sorry, Blue. Keep going.
No, man, sorry. So 3 questions. For one, do you guys ever sleep?
Not much.
Okay, yeah. I figured every
It's been
single
like
time I get on your app,
It's been like 16,
Yeah.
18-hour days lately.
I get on here like odd hours a day, and every single time I'm on here. So next question: is this AMA being recorded so that we can go back and review if we want to, try to dissect the information and make sure that we fully understand what we're talking about here?
I have not been recording. I don't know if anyone in the audience is. Should have, like I said, that would have been something that we should have structured before. But to my knowledge, I don't know. There might be someone. We got 100 people in here. Hopefully one of the YouTubers is in here.
Yeah, if one of you guys are in here, if you would speak up on that, because I'd really like to re-review the information myself.
We can go back over anything as well if people want to start recording. If there's a part that people are confused on, or more.
Yep.
We'll be here. We'll be here to keep giving the information. Everything we've said so far, it's now public, so no more secrets. Yeah.
Outstanding.
So can I answer some questions here in the chat? Right.
Yeah.
So the difference between Surge and Surge USD, from a technical standpoint and a practical standpoint, is Surge pools BNB against tokens. Surge USD pools BUSD against tokens. So the practical implications of this is that it's almost the exact same contract except for all the pancake swap, being able to purchase the BUSD stuff. It's very, very similar to Surge in how it operates, in that the price action on a buy will go up, the price action on a transfer will go up, the price action on a sell will go up. It's just that what's backing it is BUSD this time instead of just BNB. So there was always the risk of BNB being volatile. It can go both ways. So if BNB goes up, the value of Surge goes up. If the price of BNB goes down, the value of Surge goes down. With BUSD as the underlying asset that's being pulled against tokens, it's pegged to the US dollar. That means that the price action will always increase on buys and transfers and sells, but you no longer have the volatility of BNB. This is both a blessing and a curse. If you want to have no volatility of BNB, this is probably the token for you. If you prefer being a little bit more risky and holding your BNB and having it grow, you feel like what you're essentially doing is you're storing BNB value in Surge, and so some people may not like the idea that their BNB that they normally would just be holding would not increase in value over time, right? So if you're risk averse, BUSD Surge. If you want to follow the ebbs and flows and you're bullish on BNB, then regular Surge is probably the better option. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm asking a question where people actually can't answer. So,
Makes sense to me.
okay. So yeah.
Hey,
So now,
one last question. Are you guys gonna? Are you planning on publishing a video for this, Mark?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a new channel for this. I was working on that today. I'm not sure when exactly a video will be out, but I will be outlining all the math and once the ecosystem is set up and the on-chain bridges and everything, I'll be really breaking that down for everyone as well, for full transparency and just so everyone's on the same page as to how the hell this works, because it's gonna be hard. The bridges implementation we made is actually decentralized. So the way that we have the bridges has no central authority, no central control. Different from like P tokens where they charge a fee and it's a whole, you have to use their dApp and stuff. There will be none of that. We will have a dApp to make it easier, but a dApp won't be required. And we're going to have this in a decentralized way. That's really exciting. And I can't wait to break down, honestly.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a great day.
Yeah,
all right,
of
you
course.
too.
All right. Let's bring some more people up.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's not too fast.
What's up, guys?
All right, Tusk. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. So
By the way.
what's up? Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I was trying to speak. So hey, what's up, guys?
Can't hear you.
What about now?
All right, well, you let you just stay up here and figure that out. I'm gonna invite someone else separately.
Can you hear me?
Send 2 invites to Taz and to Yikes. Person. Hey, how's it going?
Can you hear
Is
me?
it Oscar?
Yeah. Tripping on acid.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up? Okay, am I going or is Broken going?
There you go. You're going for now. Oh,
Okay. I don't know. This could be a really dumb question. I don't know anything really, but is it possible that the USD can collapse and then BNB will collapse? What would happen with Surge if that happens?
If this.
Huh?
What's the question again? If which collapses?
If the US dollar collapses and then BNB collapses as well.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
but would
that would be a problem. I mean, it's still pegged to the dollar. So even if the dollar goes down in relative value, this is still worth $1 in that kind of a way. And that's why people that's why we started with the BNB version as well, because a lot of people in DeFi don't like fiat, and they like the ability to hedge against the inflation that comes with fiat. And so that's why I split my bag 50-50 just for full transparency. I have 50% in Surge BNB and 50% in Surge USD.
Same here.
Just have a little bit of both. I feel like that's the best idea because I can use my BNB to hedge against the inflationary nature of the US dollar. So that's just where your sentiment is on fiat systems altogether. If you are full crypto hate fiat, don't even touch the USD one. Like I said, it's just for preference because there's a lot of people that don't like BNB and don't like the system, and the blockchain itself isn't going anywhere unless they take down all of the validators. It's not just gonna disappear. So this system's gonna keep going. This is a contract that just runs on its own. So no one's gonna be able to take that down. And BUSD is very solid. There's billions and billions of dollars in it.
Yeah, and if USD went down, we have a lot of problems to talk
Yeah,
about.
if USD went down, we have a lot more problems than Surge. Hope that helped.
Yeah, is it okay if I ask one more?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when can we get like an update on like, you know how the price doesn't show on Trust Wallet?
We put out so I applied today for CoinMarketCap, and I specified a little bit that they were going to need to work with us to get the price action working. So I don't know what exactly that's going to entail, but I started the process, so we should be hearing back soon. We have to get on CoinMarketCap to have a price on Trust Wallet.
And there's a technical reason for this too, because there's no traditional pancake swap or exchange that CoinMarketCap is wired up with. The contract itself is its own liquidity pool, which in and of itself is what started. It was a question that started this whole project, right? Is what if you had a contract with a token with no liquidity pools within inside the contract itself? So CoinMarketCap, other sort of apps and whatnot are going to have a really difficult time actually trying to grab the price because it's not through a traditional liquidity pool. And so like that's, for example, at Useless, we're trying to create the first mobile app that actually utilizes Surge's price and to chart it out and show total volume, things like that, because it's a problem that needs to be solved. It's a race to figure out who can effectively chart all the ins and outs of Surge and now Surge USD, those type of tokens.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool, and I know a lot of. I'm feeling it's going to start with Useless, and then I think a lot more as these tokens gain in popularity, all the different crypto pegged ones we might come up with over time. This system is going to need to be figured out. People are going to need graphs for these, not just graphs on price, because those will be kind of boring because they'll only go up, but graphs on volatility or not volatility, volume more so. That's what I meant to say. That's what Useless is going to be focusing on, is graphing out the volume.
And the total circulation, which is far more interesting than the price action, which looks like just a line creeping upwards.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's definitely a race to see who's first there.
Well, it's actually very exciting, real quick, because this is the first time we had, I think, a bit of a pullout of Surge. We had our total circulation actually drop a little bit instead of go up in a straight line. And so there was some sell pressure, which was really cool. So even though the price per BNB was always steadily increasing, we saw the total circulation dip, and that shows you sort of the buying and selling pressure of which is really strange, which doesn't affect, which still increases the price action, but you can watch total circulation and see that buying and selling pressure happen in real time.
Yeah, it is a yin yang. The lower the total supply, the more buying pressure there is. In terms of the more a buy will increase the price relative to where it is, which is really cool.
Mic check,
That
1, 2.
question. Yikes or broken? Is your mic work?
Value of holdings function. And putting in my wallet address, I put 15 BNB in probably like 5 minutes ago or so. And by the way, this is for the Surge USD contract. And it's given me an absurd number as far as in the 3,000s of BNB worth for the wallet, which is obviously not true. What am I doing wrong?
So that is the value of USD. If you divide that by 10 to the 18, that should be the value of BUSD of your holdings.
That makes sense. Okay, cool.
Awesome. Oh yeah, it's the same decimals as BNB, so we have to divide by the same amount. But now there's no extra conversion. That's just the value in USD. So that'll be a lot easier for people in terms of graphing the price in US dollars.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, one of the questions that came up, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to it. Actually, I do know the answer to it, but is specifically like the transferring between BNB or Surge BNB and Surge BUSD. There's been a lot of questions around like, can people swap one for the other now?
No, you can't.
Not not now. That's what's coming really soon with our on-chain bridges. We will need an on-chain bridge to the tax-exempt versions in order to pair both tax-exempt versions into a liquidity pool together.
Awesome, thanks for mentioning that.
Yep, for sure. That's what really exciting. That's the next thing we've been working on. Yeah, I mean this is kind of we hinted at this earlier. So the contracts for these are done, but optimization is needed right now, and we're working on optimizing it to be efficient. But yeah, a lot of the ecosystem is finished. It's mostly testing and optimizing right now. So I'm really excited to fully roll that out soon. But we definitely wanted Surge USD to get a head start, or we just launched an ecosystem with it. We wanted to have similar action to Surge before.
Can you hear me now?
Just one more question. Oh. Yeah, we can hear you, Tusk. Just one moment. I know you've been waiting a minute to get to speaking, but did you have one more question, Yikes?
Yeah, you go ahead first, Tusk. I know you've been waiting a while.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, so I know you were talking about the internal bridge, and about the tax exempt transferring between Surge and Surge USD. Is the contract for the original Surge that's based on BNB? Are you no longer the owner of the contract?
Oh.
Okay, so then
I pronounced that a while ago.
okay, how are you going to like blacklist the taxes for that since you do not have ownership any longer?
That's why the on-chain bridge is needed in a way. So instead of whitelisting exchanges, which requires a level of centralized control, because I need to own the contract to whitelist them, we now have a whitelisted token, which is bridgeable and pegged one-to-one with its normal Surge. So you would have Surge BNB, and you'd bridge it over and pay a tax to get X Surge BNB. And then you can trade that tax-free in a way. But you need to still cross back over and pay the fee again in order to actually pay another fee to withdraw the underlying liquidity associated with it. The underlying value, whether it be USD or BNB.
All right, last question. Are you selling neurons? Because I'm buying.
Like I said, I'm half in, half out. So I have half mine in Surge and the other half in Surge USD.
I just wanted his brain. You were very smart, Mark. Thank you for answering my questions.
For sure, man. Absolutely. But yeah, I think half and half is good for myself. Obviously, I can't speak for everyone else. But I don't know how I feel about BNB. I think it could go either way. So having half and half is a good hedge to either scenario happening. Yeah, and one thing I want to add to this real quick. Sorry, I know Brock had broken a little bit to you. But I was I'm very happy about the fact that we could use a tax-free variant of like XSurge in liquidity pools or have them be traded on exchanges or whatever. All the benefits of a tax-free token, while we have tax action that allows to facilitate this entire price action process. So it's the best of both worlds, and we can renounce contracts on both. And so we're trying to vie. There's always pros and cons when you renounce your contract, right? Is that you lose a lot of the ability to do things like list on exchanges without double taxation or things like that. And so it's really cool because we get the benefits of being as decentralized as possible, but we also get the benefits of being able to list on exchanges without double taxation. We can integrate ourselves in liquidity pools without taxation. It's brilliant that we're able to do this, or we'll be able to do this once we finish and finalize our infrastructure. The coolest thing, last thing before we let Tusk ask his question, is you can never become centralized if you don't want to. If you want to keep holding this decentralized like haven, you never have to swap from Surge to Xsurge ever, unless you're trying to swap for another Surge token or another token that Surge is paired with. So as long as you buy through the contract and sell through the contract, you're fully decentralized always. But this allows us to bridge to Xsurge, which is like a centralized version, a promise of getting Surge back that we can then put on exchanges in our place to keep Surge as decentralized as possible while
This
getting
whole
the
thing-
benefits of centralization.
Yeah, this whole thing almost started out with like F exchanges. F the fact that like we have to deal, with dexes or centralized exchanges, and the fact that you might be able to like send tokens over to your deposit address for an arbitrage trade to an exchange, and they may not recognize it for 5 hours, while your arbitrage opportunity disappears. That's the danger of centralization in the space, is that people can screw with your money. And so this entire setup, everything from Surge to Surge USD to the Xsurge, the XSUSD, all these pieces working together in tandem is all about avoiding centralization and moving towards our vision, and I'd say the panacea, right, of decentralization in cryptocurrency. That's what we want to push, and that's what we want to keep driving towards.
Absolutely. Okay, Tusk, it's your time.
All right. Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me?
Oh no!
Can you guys hear me?
Did you fall asleep?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, probably. Oh,
Can you hear me?
we got him.
God damn it.
Hey, how's it going? Okay, let's just see if Tusk can speak.
Does this work? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. I don't know what the hell's happening with Discord. So, yes, I am recording this. I'll upload it to YouTube later. Awesome work. Thank you guys. Question. So I have Trust Wallet on my phone. That's how I do most of my cryptocurrency and so on and so forth. My basic juvenile understanding is that I can't sell unless I do it on or through BSC scan outside of Trust Wallet. So how do I make that connection with Trust Wallet and BSC scan and actually sell so I can do a 50-50 swap?
It depends. So are you on iOS or Android?
Android.
Okay, so you'll be able to access the dApp browser. And even if you don't, there's a wallet connect option on BSC scan. So if you go into your dApp browser, like where you go onto PancakeSwap,
Yeah.
you can search BSC scan through there. And when you click on the contract, there'll be a right button. And right below that, you'll have an option to sign in and connect your wallet.
Okay.
And that's where you can connect your wallet and then trigger the functions. But if you're on iOS, you'll have to go on Safari or on Chrome and click the wallet connect button and then connect your trust that way.
Okay. Awesome. That's about it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Glad you got your question through.
First of all, amazing work. Second of all, when you said F, the centralized, I'm like, when pro bit. It's centralized, I know. Second of all, how soon do you think you'll be able to deploy SurgeX?
The contract is already written.
The bridges contract is written. Right now, we're just trying to find out a way to where everyone will be able to use it for the best price and not have to pay any extra fees that they don't need to. We know how to do this. We're just trying to fully optimize it and then test it. I don't want to give an exact date, but we've been moving way faster than we thought possible. So I would say relatively soon. Very soon. It depends, but
yeah, Mark and I are busy, right? But most of what you've seen happening with Surge literally has probably happened just probably after 10, 11 p.m. at night, after we're done with all of our other stuff that we do throughout the day. So I always hate to put dates out there just because we have a lot of commitments. We're busy. We do other things, right? And we just want to make sure that we set expectations properly. But I would say that the X Surge stuff, I would say probably 90% of it. Would you say, Mark, is kind of put together and
Yeah,
where we need to be? Yeah, it's more some of the ancillary ecosystem pieces that we're putting together. I don't want to go too deep into implementation details, just because we want to beat any potential competitor to the punch on this and building out our infrastructure.
Yeah, because a decentralized bridge structure I know isn't out. A bridge structure, bridges are out, but decentralized bridges, that's new.
That's pretty.
Plus on-chain bridges, yeah, that's definitely new.
I probably had one other one, but I'm just excited for the show, so I already forgot what it is.
No worries. If you remember it, raise your hand again. Bring it back up.
Keep doing you guys. Jesus Christ.
All right, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Oh, hey,
I'm great.
you hear me? Oh, sorry about that. I kind of got up at a bit too. I'm sorry if I'm a little choppy, but down here, X token is that now? It will one surge equal one X token, like one BNB surge currently.
Yes, they'll have a 1-to-1 correlation. It'll be similar to how it'll be similar to how bridges were supposed to work for Safemoon, in a way, but just on chain.
And I understand you guys making fiat surge before Ethereum or Cardano or whatsoever, but because the less risk, I probably won't be doing that because I'm very bullish for crypto in general. But
Absolutely.
what's the time frame for Ethereum and Cardano?
We want to get the ecosystem working with BNB Surge. Oh, and we can make those, but if we just made a bunch of Surge tokens right now, all the volume would just spread out. But yeah, amongst all of them.
Okay.
What we want to get set up is this arbitrage liquidity pool back. So USDT Surge, well, USD Surge and BNB Surge. And once that's built, and we build it in a specific way, just keep adding new ones and pairing them with each other. It's really we need to get there first. So we decided originally we were gonna launch USD after this implementation. Then we realized we really need a USD up and running to really test this out and see how it's working properly. So these are the two for now. Once our system is built, the sky's the limit. And it's not only Surge tokens we can get to, but it's Surge tokens we can pair with. So it just goes up. And all of the transactions with different Surge tokens will all be paired with each other.
Right. And the reason why we chose USD is because a lot of cryptos, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, BNB, and all that, they can fall along with each other compared to the US dollar. And so we wanted to create something pegged to the US dollar so that we could exploit that volatility of crypto compared to the US dollar. And so if we were to just start out with Surge and like Surge Ethereum or something, like Wrath Ethereum or something like that, that would be cool, but it wouldn't allow us to maximize our arbitrage opportunity in as price action between two currencies occurs. If Bitcoin, if we could expect Ethereum to always go opposite of BNB, then it would be good. But usually they rise together and they fall together. That wouldn't provide too many arbitrage opportunities. Since the price of USD stays constant, anytime any of these other coins rise and fall, we will be able to arbitrage that difference. Global crypto volatility.
And did I hear centralized for X surge?
it won't be centralized, but it will be able to be put onto centralized exchanges. So if you want to call that centralized, you can. But that's Xsurge is going to be our ability to reach out to all these other centralized fees, like whether it's an exchange, DEX, like PancakeSwap. All of those will use Xsurge, and that will keep the original Surge decentralized. But because it'll allow you to, in a decentralized way, bridge over to the original Surge and redeem it for the underlying liquidity.
And I'm assuming that there's going to be that 6% tax when I move my BNB Surge to Xsurge, correct?
Nope. There's going to be a 4%. Oh well, we don't actually know. So this depends on how we set up this infrastructure. But what the ultimate goal that we're pretty sure is going to happen is the total cost to go from Surge BNB to Surge USD would be the same cost of just selling. So we're trying to shoot for 6% for the whole migration, which would be half as expensive as, say, selling your BNB Surge for 6% and then using that BNB to buy USD Surge, which would be a total of 12%. So with this migrating system, we're going to be cutting that in half.
Y'all are literally disrupting everything.
That's the goal. Yep.
I can't imagine. Is Safemoon really okay with this?
Well, I mean, this is going to just bring so many new people to DeFi. I've already got messages from so many people saying,
How does Surge BNB
one second, man. Sorry.
BNB?
Just gonna. What was I just saying? Safemoon's fine with it because I've already gotten messages from so many people saying that that they've never heard of smart contracts before, really, and they didn't realize how powerful they were, and that multiple experts from different software companies, software backgrounds, have been moving into DeFi as a result of Surge. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything from that. All I'm saying is that's amazing because that's going to bring so much more innovation to DeFi. And when innovation comes, so do other people. So I feel like more and more investors are going to be coming into the space. I think that the average was it was 3 to 4% of the population invest in crypto. But if we can really showcase the power of DeFi, I think we could really increase the amount of people that don't just buy Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Litecoin, that actually go inside of blockchains and start messing around with these internal structures like this. I think that's that's the whole goal. And if we can do that, it'll help everyone. Because people won't just buy one token. People are going to be like, all right, we're here. What else is out there? And then they can see SafeMoon, and then they can see all these other projects in the space. So, as much as it might seem like competition, it's not at all. I believe it'll only help the space in total.
Well, all you guys, I'm super happy about Safemoon being happy about it. I've been with you guys for 3 months now, and I love everything you're doing. I'll give somebody else time to talk. Thank you for answering my questions. And yeah, this is recorded for my YouTube channel, so if you want to say hi, go ahead. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
If I may interject here real quick, so I'm seeing some transaction failures coming through. It's likely because we're implementing a swap when you send BNB in, that occasionally you may not have enough gas. And so if you are having trouble with transactions, what I would do is up your gas limit on Trust Wallet. It's on the confirmation screen. It's the gear in the top right-hand corner. That's where you can set your gas limit. You could set it to 1 million. That's probably a safe number.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a comment and a question. Because the first comment is the thing I really like about the BUSD is the fact that so many people came into Surge misinformed about the volatility of BNB, and so I think it really opens the doors to a lot of people, as well as alleviate some of those concerns, because it's hey, shift you over to that BUSD option if you're really uncomfortable with any volatility. So first of all, kudos to you guys for recognizing that. I think it's gonna really help this community to grow. The question I have is, I know a little bit of the answer, but the question I have is really you guys are burning the candle at both ends. You both have day jobs and projects, and the level of innovation has been pretty substantial in a short period of time, and unlike any other coin. So I'm curious, should the community continue to expect this level of innovation? And then I guess secondarily, do you expect to make this your full-time job at some point?
Well, two great questions, honestly. As for the innovation, I think we're just getting started. This whole concept, I feel like opens the door to not just liquidity, but just so many use cases that we haven't originally thought of. I've had some people message me privately about some really good use cases, just that are completely separate from this idea that would be amazing to pursue in the future. And I just think that since this hasn't existed before, there's just almost an infinite number of ways we could go about adding to it and improving on it. And liquidity is the first start. Ironically, how the no liquidity coin is going to be the liquidity backing in our in our sense, but that's the start. We love innovating DeFi, so I don't think that we are going to be slowing down at all. And I really love this project, and I'm still going to give it my all just because I think that it's a statement to decentralization that was needed, and a statement to saying, screw developers that have too much access to people's money in a space where it's supposed to be peer to peer. So that's not going to slow down. I don't think, at least not for myself. And I know Cart's just as passionate as I am about this, so I know it's not from him either. Did I just answer both of them, or did I miss one?
I mean, I think close enough. Close enough. All right. I just want to say thank you for you guys for what you're doing, and I'm very much inspired by what you guys are doing. So I'm gonna go back to the audience.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
And I'll add to that too, just because yeah, we're busy, we're burning the candles at both ends, but like we're not dedicating like our entire day to this. This is a sliver of our day where we're working on these projects. I just think Mark and I work really well together, frankly. We get together, we ideate, and we work through the night, and we get something out. And yeah, we have trouble waking up in the morning, but that's kind of how we are. And I think we enjoy doing it. We're passionate about it. We're excited about it. And so I think that as long as we're innovative, as long as we're constantly innovating, we're going to probably continue to do what we're doing. And there's so many areas that we can innovate in this space that I see no reason to slow down. And I don't want to slow down. If I could do this for my full-time job, I would. I'm a senior engineering manager at work, and that's what I do. It's my job. I enjoy it, but I love this, and this is what I want to do with my life. But it's going to take some time for me, I know, to be able to extract myself from that full-time job to do this kind of stuff. It's going to be a process, not an event.
I definitely have a little bit more time to throw at this, considering I don't have a full-time job. So I usually do some little things during the day, work on the community, like applying for random things like that. And then during the night, Kark and I usually go on our development sprees. So, yeah.
Okay, so I was under the impression that Safemoon job. Is that not the case?
No, Safemoon is my full-time job, but DeFi is my full-time job, more or less. I work in DeFi all the time, and what I do for Safemoon is very similar to what I do outside of it. Mostly been writing smart contracts lately, so it's weird. It's not like I clock in and I clock out. My job is more on a project basis, on like a get this done kind of a basis. So it's a lot more flexible than a job where I have to like go in for 8 to 9 hours, if that makes sense.
Right, where I'm stuck in meetings, for blocks and blocks of time, which is quite a different experience for me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And I'm always able to multitask. Whenever I get my Safemoon assignments, I knock those out first, because you are right, that is my full-time job, and that gets my first priority. But I'm usually able to knock it out reasonably fast and still have time to do all my other things. It hasn't been a problem yet. Jarius, did you want to say something?
No, I just wanted to kind of touch bases on the idea of like how people think you're disrupting things, but in other aspects, I think you're just making things a little bit less chaotic, right? The way that I see it, anyways, just bringing together, and that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
as chaotic as it sounds like. I mean, that's the multiverse, right? When we think about the multiverse, it is chaotic, but at the same time, it speaks to each other. You know, they speak to each other, and yeah, I love that. I love that aspect of things.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of reverse entropy in this whole process where we're trying to find ways to make things better and to improve and to implement changes that improve, just make the space that much better. And it's been hard, it's been hard to do that in this space, but it is the Wild West. There's a lot of newness to this, and it's the perfect opportunity to make a splash.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Excellent. Click two people. Oh, I accidentally muted this guy last time. Sorry, Evil King. I brought this guy up last time, and I don't think he was able to speak. Surge Man, did you have something to say?
Yes, I have something to say. You said the Surge BSA is like the new to the ecosystem. So I want to ask how is that going to affect the growth of Surge BNB, Surge USD? How is it going to affect, like you said, splitting 50-50 and hedging against the price of BNB going down? So I don't know if you can explain it to me further so I can understand.
Well, go ahead.
No, you take it away.
I was gonna say, how's it gonna affect Surge BNB, and how is Surge USD going to affect Surge BNB? Is that the root of what you're asking?
Yeah, like how is it going to put the price of Surge BNB going up instead?
Yeah. So, sorry. Okay, I was gonna say, like, if people sell out of Surge BNB to move over to Surge USDT, the net result of the price per BNB per token goes up. So if you wanted to dump all your tokens and move them over to Surge USDT, it's not going to hurt anybody in that ecosystem. In fact, it may actually help them based off of our research into price action.
It will. It'll only increase the price of both tokens. But this is not optimal. We realize that selling for 6% and buying for 6% isn't optimal for some people. So that's why we're creating this way to pair them together, so you can trade one for the other for only one 6% fee instead of having to get hit with two of them. So in that way, directly, when they're both in a liquidity pool, they'll both benefit each other. Because say you sell your USD, your BNB Surge for USD Surge, internally both of the prices go up, but in the liquidity pool, the one that you sold makes the price go down. So that gives you an opportunity to buy it from the liquidity pool and sell it back to the token itself, making multiple transactions and actually like printing free profit in a way, but in a way that benefits both tokens at the same time.
So how are they going to put it in how are they going to pay the both of them in the liquidity pool? Because I don't know how is that going to work.
So it'll work just like on PancakeSwap, how you can go and you can trade BNB for Safemoon or something like that. Instead, you'll be able to trade X Surge BNB for X Surge USDT or USD.
Okay, on which
that. Sorry, what was that?
On which platform? Like, where do we go to trade them? Like, is there an exchange for it?
It's not live yet, but it will be available on PancakeSwap. And I'm sure that could easily be something we can make a contract for as well, or simplify that process one way or another. But it would be ultimately originally on Swap, and hopefully from there everywhere. USDT Surge being the backbone for exchanges, BNB Surge and USD Surge being the backbone for DeFi tokens. That's just the beginning, but it will start on PancakeSwap.
So, alright, so if it's going to start on PancakeSwap, I thought it defines the purpose of Surge BNB and Surge USD not being like on exchanges, not doing their own exchanges, their own exchanges inside them.
Yeah, that's why we're having these on-chain bridges. So you'll be able to bridge to a new token that's one-to-one pegged with the Surge you bridged from. So then these new tokens can actually be put into liquidity pools for the for these tokens that have no liquidity pools. So it'll be really cool, but that's how we're doing it. That's what the point of the on-chain bridge is, to create a new token that's worth the same as the one you created. You can now use that in its place, tax-free, and in liquidity pools.
So, but is there going to be like decentralized person controlling the liquidity, or is it going to be decentralized as Surge?
So Surge is staying decentralized always. As to the liquidity that is provided for XSurge and XSurge USD, that will have to be raised independently, or there will have to be some sort of profit incentive to stake it yourself. And that's something that we've been considering as to how we raise that initial liquidity. And it depends on the way that we create it as to what the situation of it will be. But it's in a centralized way, so that if we do pair the liquidity ourselves, we wouldn't be taking other people's money. We would just be allowing other people to trade. Whereas in a traditional system with a coin, the liquidity that's added isn't necessarily the developer's money, it's investors' money. And that's where it gets scary, if that makes sense. So it's not like adding this liquidity pool will suddenly equip us with everyone's money in any way at all. It'll still stay decentralized in this fashion, because we're going to have to either raise liquidity on our own or have a community push to have all the community members pair liquidity, and then everyone would own their own LP tokens. Or we'd have to have some incentivized way to stake so that people can see returns on their investment.
Yeah, we should probably move on to another person here.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Real King, sorry about that. Sorry about making you wait.
I really appreciate the project and the idea that you guys are coming up with. So my only question is like, so when we create too many like Surge tokens, like Surge BNB, USD and all, so the people who are interested in the project gets divided, and also the benefit of the investors, right? Like how are we going to handle this one?
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry. I just want to understand what you were saying better.
Yeah, so let's say we have like a million people interested in Surge, and so like 2 days before we were there was only one way to invest, and if they invest, all the people who are invested basically they get 6% or something. So but when there are multiple tokens and people gets divided, so they select one of the tokens to buy. So that actually slows down the price increase or something, right?
Well, that's assuming everyone has the same bullish sentiments. I feel as though a lot of people were being scared away from this project by the fact that they have to be bullish on BNB to have this be successful. I think that was a big scaring factor, especially with BNB being under such harsh conditions. But initially, if we were leaving these tokens alone, if they were two separate tokens like they are right now, that would cause a divide if we just kept releasing tokens. But the fact that we're pairing them all into liquidity pools with each other, if one of these tokens gets more volume, its price will be higher compared to the other tokens. And then you can profit by buying more of the other tokens. And it'll equal out in that way, so that all the tokens benefit from one of them doing well.
Okay, understand. I think that's all. Yes, yes. Yes.
We've been freaking out about it. Alright, yep. Do you have something to add, Pyro? Just wondering. Or are you just here for the ride?
No, there's a question in the stage chat, and it is that they're saying that it looks like the Surge USD contract ownership hasn't been renounced, and there's just a bunch of people wondering about that.
So yeah, that's fair. So there's one owner function in this contract, and that is to change the pancake swap liquidity pool. We've been debating over this. So in the other contract, there is no liquidity pool. So there's no liquidity pool in USD. That's true. But we do need a reference to pancake swap in order to actually take the BNB and swap it for BUSD at the same time. So all that function does is allow us to, in case pancake swap migrates to version 3, we would be able to follow them. That's what that one function does, and that's why we haven't renounced it yet. But you can look through all of the owner functions, look for anything. The only one in there is the one that lets us migrate to a different version of PancakeSwap if the situation aroused. If it actually creates a lot of FUD that's the only owner function, we could definitely renounce it. But that was more of a planning for the future case scenario. But yeah, I'm interested to see what everyone says. If everyone's like, we don't give a shit, renounce it, I'll renounce it. But yeah, but you guys definitely look through the contract. You have to look for the function with a modifier called only owner, and that shows you the owner functions inside of the contract.
Right. And what makes it dangerous for a lot of contracts is that they could do a lot of things with the contract, right? So things like set taxation, or turn things on and off, or really screw with a lot of different elements of the token in a way that is very centralized. And so, yeah, we can't do any of that. The only thing that is like you mentioned that we can change is PancakeSwap. So if we did renounce it, it wouldn't be the end of the world. We could just launch a new version if people decided that they wanted to use a different version of PancakeSwap. But I just, it's better probably to leave ownership open and then not have people migrate off if PancakeSwap decided to move to V3.
Yeah,
we just
need. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we saw a lot of the issues with Safemoon going from V1 to V2.
Yeah, that's what inspired it. Having Safemoon needing to manually move liquidity and do all these things was the reason. But like Carc said, if it is a problem, we'll renounce it. It's not the end of the world, but we could potentially run into a problem down the road if version 2 PancakeSwap isn't supported anymore in the future. So that's why it's in there. I encourage all of you to do some extra research on owner functions and what the owner of contracts can do. But there's no withdraw function. There's no crazy function that lets me set fees or anything like that. The only thing I can do is migrate PancakeSwap to a future version.
Awesome. Well, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, for sure. I might do a poll or something in the Discord. I'm not sure how to do that yet. Maybe just like have a certain amount of a certain reaction emoji you pick to say yes or no. But I'll put something out in the Discord later for if you guys really want me to renounce it. I do not care. It really like Carc said, it really doesn't matter. It won't make a difference. We just won't be able to enact this safeguard that we put in there.
Well, and just thinking out loud here, Mark, is we may be able to wrap this around a DAO. So we might be able to set up an infrastructure to where any ownership interactions with the contract would go through something like through a mechanism or something like that, and so that way we could not renounce ownership, and instead ownership is transferred to an autonomous organization that happens through voting.
Yeah, no, that would be a great idea. So that way, if we did need to migrate to V3, the majority of holders, 51% of holders, would have to agree to it in order for the change to actually happen, which is it's really good for DeFi. So that's absolutely a situation where we could go in the future, and why I would prefer to leave it renounced for a little while. But like I said, if there's any FUD over it, or anything, we'll take it away. But that's the reason why it's there right now. But please go look over the contract, look over the owner functions. Keep me honest. There's nothing in there that wasn't in the first one, except for the ability to change PancakeSwap. What's up, Kmart?
Okay, so how you doing?
Doing good.
Good. First off, I just wanted to say I really appreciate you guys' hard work on this. I've been following Mark since I'd say like April or May when you were putting out videos about Safemoon. So definitely appreciate the work and the effort you're putting into both projects actually. So thank you for that. One of the questions I had was I know in the beginning of Surge you were talking about a white paper. Has that been completed yet?
So we were every time we get close to finishing it. Every time we get close to finishing it, we're like, wait, what if we did this? And then we just add to the ecosystem. So the white paper is constantly being remade to add in all these future things that we're trying to do with the token. Originally, it was just an experiment to see how does this work, and we've seen how it works, and we understand it a lot better now. So we have to revise that contract, revise the white paper to really encompass this entire ecosystem that we're trying to build, and what the real technical implications are, and everything like that.
Right. And so we're writing out. Oh, sorry. I thought there was a delay. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that definitely makes sense, or else you guys would have had to make like 100 revisions by now at least on that white paper. So yeah, I get you.
Yeah, we're good. Oh gosh, sorry. But yeah, just saying, like we're writing out the technical implementation for how we're actually doing the on-chain bridging, and how things flow together with the X tokens as well. And so that's just we want to explore out and really describe how this economy works at a high level, not just how the asymmetric liquidity pool works inside the contract.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
And I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I appreciate the answer on that. I have like a couple more questions, but so the next one. So I'm actually really happy you guys came out with this because the Surge USD. Because today I actually had some fun surrounding around Surge and just any BNB backed token. Just because everything is basically dependent on BNB, and like what your guys were talking about, how there's so much issues going around with BNB, legal issues and stuff like that going on with Binance and all that stuff. Like there was an article saying that BNB could drop, so it's like not FUD around you guys, it's just the inherent FUD that surrounds the project, which is unfortunate. But doing the Surge USD definitely gave more independence from that, which I'm really happy about. So that's definitely good. My question is, do you guys have any plans to make an additional additional peg tokens to Ethereum or Bitcoin?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, once we have this architecture built where we can start adding Surge tokens into liquidity with each other, X Surge tokens, then we can just start pairing whatever we want. Once we get in a situation where all the peg tokens benefit one another, that's when we want to. Because if we started making them all right now, it would just spread the volume out really thin. But if we can actually put them all into liquidity pools, and as soon as we create one, we pair it into the liquidity pool, that's when all of the new additions will actually start benefiting each other at the same time.
Got it. That definitely makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So a follow-up question. So I assume this is going to get kind of messy because you're going to have all these contracts. People are going to be like, which one do I go into? Just like tonight, which everyone's going to wake up in the morning and be like, what the hell's going on? My question to you guys is, are you going to make some sort of a consolidated wallet to have all these peg tokens in a single place? Or are you going to piggyback on Trust Wallet and PancakeSwap to handle the centralization, just to make life easy for everyone to jump in?
Yeah, I'll kind of jump in on this if you don't mind, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that right now our main focus right now isn't necessarily building products right for this ecosystem. I think the focus right now is to build out the smart contracts and the ecosystem and the innovation in the DeFi space. So the on-chain bridging, the X tokens, right? For the internal details that we're working in order to make that happen is really where our focus is right now. And so, I mean, I'm not precluding the possibility of things like building out apps or that kind of stuff. I just don't know if that's necessarily like our focus and drive and desire is to build out products like that. I think it's more along the decentralization, the smart contract route.
Yeah, definitely. But what's really cool about having it so decentralized is you really don't need a wallet like that. Most people do because it's easy. You just click a button and it does it for you. But with this whole system, you can interact entirely from it with like a terminal at home. just like a terminal screen on your computer. Most people won't do it this way, but for obvious reasons. But you can do everything you can do on Trust Wallet or on MetaMask from home with this system. You don't need to connect to PancakeSwap to buy. You don't need to connect to PancakeSwap to sell. You just have to call a function on a contract, which is really cool. And so it would open the door to something like this in the future. Like Carc said, it's definitely not the roadmap right now. But what I like the most about this is the fact that even if Trust Wallet and MetaMask went away, we would be able to come out with a set of instructions for everyone to still be able to interact with their tokens regardless. Which is really cool.
Yeah,
That's actually really cool.
And I think this is all part about like we're trying to build fundamental building blocks, right? So, for example, we think other people are going to pick up the slack where we've innovated, for example, how pricing doesn't work off a liquidity pool. Well, like I said, for useless, what we're doing is we're building a charting app that will be hopefully one of the first to actually chart how Surge and Surge USD actually play out. And so that's just, but I think as the Surge team, right, I don't think that that's our goal is to build those products. It's more to build the infrastructure and then see what other people do with it.
Yeah, that was very well put.
Yeah, like community driven. So that's very well put for sure. Awesome. That was all my questions. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming up. All right, let's do these last three. Gray has one, and then Free Spirit and Dylan, and we'll wrap up after that.
All
right.
Oh yeah. This is something I'm pretty sure everybody want to know. Y'all, I've heard y'all talk about voting a couple times. Now, will that be done by your weight in Surge, or would that be done by how many addresses? Because I mean, I could see a problem in the future if it was done by addresses, because
it would be done by weight.
It would be done by weight. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't want people to just buy one Surge token on like 20 accounts and get 20 votes. That wouldn't be fair.
So, do you think that can make a problem in the future for whales kind of controlling the political side of things?
Well, the whole point of Surge is whales actually get decreased pretty rapidly. Like at the beginning when we started, like there was a bunch of like 5, 8, 10% of the supply. Now those people have like 0.8%, like less than 1% of the supply, just because of how it constantly is minting new ones when new people buy in. So in a way, whales don't really matter, but I still think that someone with a lot of money in the project, like a whale, should have a good voice, kind of just like a shareholder in the company. So I think by weight would be the most fair, and it would prevent one dude who wants his way done creating 5,000 wallets and getting 5,000 votes for really cheap, necessarily. Because that could happen, and you could do that via a smart contract, even, so you don't even have to manually do it. And that would impose some sort of it would make it so you're right in a way that whales, that people that invest a lot of money would have more of a say. But if it was the other way around, people that are tech savvy would have more of a say because they'd be able to hack the system.
Definitely.
That answered your question. Was that your only question?
Yeah, and maybe this could just put a little idea in your head. Maybe you could like divide it into 3 categories, like people with a small cap, a mid cap, and a large cap for Surge. That way, it could be like, I mean, if there's 3 categories of Surge holders voting, then there would never be an even vote count. So they'd always go one side or the other. But I could see that being a problem with someone making too many addresses. So I guess that's something y'all have to think about.
No, yeah, that's a good idea. So you're saying like split it up into 3 categories. Like we get the total for one.
Yeah, like small, big, large.
Yeah. No, yeah. There's many ways you can go about voting. There's a bunch of interesting protocols out there. I don't know which one we're gonna use yet, but yeah, that's definitely interesting.
That seems like the most complicated problem, for real.
It just depends on how we want to structure it. There's multiple ways. Voting is it's been around for a while in DeFi. It's kind of what started it, almost. Not what started it, but what got people in the door was the voting aspect. It was very cool back in the day. I really think that, yeah, we can get a good system going that pleases everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Hey, as the resident capitalist, can I just plug our donations channel really quickly?
Yeah.
Specifically, we are community driven, and so like we have a lot of great volunteers helping with a lot of awesome projects. Everything from making sure we have good designs on our websites and white papers, and social media presence. But if you want to help speed that up, like funds go a long ways. We've received pretty nominal funds at this point. I hope you guys can just see like just the level of innovation that's happening. Recognize that these guys up here are having to buy in just like everyone else. And there are no funds that are going to dev and marketing. So if you have it in you or have a little extra, feel free to go to the donation channel.
Thank you. Wise words from our capitalist, Lush. Did you see that?
Oh, really? Yeah, because I have a hard time asking people for donations. That's just not part of who I am. So
He's apparently good at that. So I made his role the capitalist.
I love it.
It's so funny. Yeah, I appreciate you. Okay, I'm gonna invite the other two people up here. I'll have to keep abusing their ability to just jump up. But did you have something to add? Oh no, never mind. I offended her. Okay, Dylan or Free Spirit, do either of you guys want to come up and ask a question? If they don't, Jairus, you can jump back up. I won't snap at you.
That's funny. Hey, Dylan. Go ahead, Dylan.
How are you, Dylan?
Hey, yeah, good yourselves.
I'm doing great.
Well, it's just a question in regards to, I guess, the interest paid on the BUSD. So where that would be, you'd receive the interest in BUSD, and then if you were to sell, you would receive BUSD back, not your original BNB.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct.
Beautiful. You guys are progressing amazingly. Thank you. That's pretty much wraps up my question. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, no worries. Have a good night.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know you guys are working at pretty breakneck speed. I'm sure there's a lot of ideas going through your heads, and you're trying to get stuff out, especially before anybody copies or comes out with something similar. But is there anything you guys wish that you were able to do if you hadn't renounced the original contract? Like, because I know, especially as far as like bridging over, like would that have been something you, instead of making like a new X coin, you guys would have been able to incorporate into, or would you have planned it out this way regardless?
That's a really good question. Do you want to give your input on it first?
Oh yeah, I would say like this is kind of like a Bob Ross moment where it was a happy little accident, where what we realized after hopefully you're okay with me going into the details on this, Mark.
Oh yeah, it's funny.
Okay, so after we launched it, we're like, all right, cool. Can we create like a liquidity pool with this? And then we realized that we couldn't, right? Because Mark, in his whole exchanges, everything regarding liquidity pools, right? Realized that he changed some of the functionality so that this wasn't possible on intentionally. And so at first we were like, that kind of sucks, right? Because we want to be able to use this in certain pairings, or we want to put it in pools or whatever. But as we thought through it, we're like, that's a lot of taxation that's happening. For putting something on exchange, it gets taxed twice. You put things in liquidity pools, it'd be taxed going in and out, right? It's just there's a ton of taxation that I think would actually just have a chilling effect on the utility of Surge in that ecosystem. And also too, if we were to renounce, otherwise we'd have to, in a state where we own the contract and we'd have to manually control whitelisting wallets, whitelisting liquidity pools, like all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of a cool best of both worlds, where we get to basically not have anyone be able to implement or pair Surge or Surge USD without having to go through an on-chain bridge. It's a really cool thing. And so now when you bridge over to the X tokens, that's where you unlock all the functionality where you can be on decentralized exchanges, centralized exchanges. You can put it in liquidity pools, and it's all tax free. And that happens without having to have ownership as well for whitelisting wallets and things like that. So yeah, technically we still have ownership of Surge USD, but you can't do anything with it except change the pancake swap address, right? And so yeah, it's to me it's even though we have Surge in a liquidity pool that's tax free, or have Surge in an exchange that's tax free, or that kind of thing. I think it's a much better situation for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we especially like me and arguing back like 2%. He was like 1%. I was like 2%. And we like, we were like, what? Because at the same time, I was like, I want more patience to bring the price up more. But he was like, what token in the world is going to want to back a liquidity token with 2% fees? So all of their slippage will have to increase by 2% if they pair it with regular Surge. And that's not good. You don't want to have to pay 2% extra that just goes to a different token every time someone interacts with your token. If you're a new DeFi token, you would rather not do that. That's just true. So what ended up happening with this adjustment is the fact that we can now tax the creation. So we can tax when people create these tokens, and we can tax when they try to redeem them twice. We can tax when they redeem them to normal Surge, and then they get taxed again when they pull the liquidity from it, acting as a sell. So what this does is it allows any token to pair with us without needing to raise their slippage by 2%. They don't have to change their slippage at all. It's the same. They don't have to pay any extra tax, which will incentivize so many more. Like to the point where we probably would have had maybe one or two or a few tokens that just ate the 2%. But now it's a no-brainer. Now there's no reason not to. And the fact that it exists will bring way more people transferring over the bridge back to normal Surge to then pull the underlying liquidity, which raises the price.
And if you could explain one thing, now, because I'm getting confused with the 6% and the 2%. Now, the 6% would become off when you sell and when you buy, right? But the 2% now, how does that relate to the X, the Surge X?
Okay, so to start, we really have to redefine buy and sell. The only 6% tax is when you literally call the function's buy method, purchase method, I mean, which is when you send a BNB. And the only way to do a sell for 6% is when you call the sell function on like BSC scan and initiate a sell function. Every other buy and sell will be a transfer. Any buy from a liquidity pool is a transfer. Any sell to a liquidity pool is a transfer. And those get 2%. And with Xsurge, 2% will be needed to actually create Xsurge because you have to transfer your tokens over to a vault. Similar to like when you bridge over to P Safemoon, you have to move your Safemoon over to a vault, and the P Safemoon is minted on the other. It's similar to that, so you will get taxed 2% to transfer over, and when it's time for you to redeem it, you send your your X Surge back, and then your other Surge are released and sent back to your wallet, which is another transfer.
And
so
if I
to go back.
And if I may too, what that whole process of bridging is not something that I would say 98% of people will ever really be familiarized with, right? These are more advanced traders that are doing this arbitrage because they see buy low, sell high somewhere, and so they're participating in that ecosystem. But for most people, they're just going to be able to enjoy the fact that X Surge exists in this bridge state tax free.
Okay, now I can just ask one more thing, just kind of round it up. I know you guys are tired, probably. So now let's say that I want to get into the USD coin, but right now I would rather kind of do like what you guys are doing, 50-50. What would be like the process, like once X coin comes out, not the process of obtaining it, but like what fees am I going to incur from that point? Like if I want to switch over now and I want to put half of my Surge BNB into Surge USD through this bridge via Surge X, what is like the total? That's where I'm confused. So it's going to be, is it 6% total, or is it like 2% for X and then 6%?
Let me walk. I won't get. So there's different ways we can structure the fee. So the main ways right now that we see currently, that the current implementation would be either 4 or 6% to move from BNB Surge to USD Surge. So I'll just walk you through one scenario where you send your tokens to the vault. The vault mints you your token, your X Surge. Okay. So you send BNB Surge to the vault mints X BNB Surge to the other side. You get taxed once, 2% for sending it to the vault. It minting it has no tax, so you lose 2% there. You then have to interact with PancakeSwap and exchange those tokens for USD Surge, I meant. So X USD Surge. So you put your tokens in, you send it to PancakeSwap, and you lose 2%. And you get those tokens back. Oh, no, sorry, no 2%, because there's no tax on PancakeSwap. I forgot. So you can just exchange your tokens for XUSD tokens. And then you have to travel back across the bridge to get normal Surge USD, like the one that we're holding now. And you would be taxed 2% from going from X Surge USD back to Surge USD. So that would be the 4% scenario.
Got it. Okay, yeah, and that's pretty much, you should wait then. I mean, there's no point doing it now, like selling your BNB to cross over unless you. I guess that would be my best bet then, right? Just pretty much wait it out.
Unless you think BNB dropping in price would bring you down more than the difference.
Yeah, more than that, 4%. I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
So 64. Okay, not sure exactly yet. Depending on how everything goes.
We have a couple of implementation options that we're looking at, and we want to make sure that there's still a fee that exists as we move over. Yeah.
There's the fee to create it because you have to send it to the vault, and then there's the fee to get it back because you have to send it back from the vault. And those transactions are an actual Surge, which do have the transfer.
Got it. Okay, cool. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you giving me some information on it. Everybody else.
Yep, for sure, man. Hopefully that helped answer mostly or all your guys' questions. Sorry for the two other guys that had their hand up. I'm pretty tired myself.
Yeah, we have to head out, but appreciate it.
Yeah. I enjoy doing these with you guys. I hope they help bring some transparency and understanding as to where we're going. You can continue asking questions. I might not respond until tomorrow, but I'm sure some others will be online and I can help answer some of that for you. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
And to all our moderators and people out there, I just want to, I know we didn't give you a lot of heads up on this. We wanted to kind of keep this hush hush. We had to move quickly because we knew that if we didn't, this would have been out here probably within the next several days. So we wanted to beat our competitors to the punch by releasing this first. So
it's not even competitors. It's like people wouldn't even know what to do with it. They would just have it there, and then it would just exist as just a USD and compounding coin. It's not as cool when you do just that. What we're trying to build really goes beyond a lot of things, and we got a good head start now. So, what he said for the rest of it, though.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. And again, for all you people who've been helping with moderating and being part of the community and helping others get onboarded into this and to answer questions, I really appreciate all your time, energy, and effort in this.
Absolutely, me as well. I can't stress it. You guys have been amazing. Everyone in the community coming together. This is the beauty of a community-led project. Truly, I wanted to see what it would be if a token if the community was absolutely led by everyone in the sense where I have just as much control over Surge as you do at the end of the day. And it's really cool, and so many cool people from many different backgrounds are coming together, and that's what DeFi is all about. Yeah, and on that note, catch you guys tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Well, there you have it. There's the surprise AMA and Surge BUSD. Or USD.